mean, that's the music there from some artists we appreciate, artists we love. I always say, we talk about support your own, support your own. How do we do this, right? By buying tickets to the events, by getting the YouTube views up, by streaming the music, buying the music, and showing love and support. That's why here at D3mz, we try our best, to stay ahead of the game when it comes to, the music we play, the videos we share, the interviews we have. Please send us messages across all our social media platforms. Very, very easy to find. And I always say stalk us. We don't mind. Now, I've been stalking these two artists for a while, trying to get them on here because they've been very consistent, right, in what they do. And I've spoken to one before. I haven't seen it in a while, so we're fighting a bit. But hopefully after this conversation, we'll be friends again. Hello, Ria Boss.
Hi, Jason.
You see, you didn't know we were fighting.
I didn't realize we were
That's like my heart.
Wow,
it's in pieces.
Okay, forgive me.
How you doing, darling?
I'm good, my
You're
love.
looking lovely.
Thank you.
What have you been eating?
What have I been eating? I eat a lot of suya.
Oh, for real? Oh, I love that too.
I
love that too. Very happy to have you here. We're going to have a very interesting conversation
I
today.
can sense that.
Young Dems.
What up?
Looking swagged out.
How do you know?
Okay.
How you doing, man?
I'm chilling, man. I'm
What
cool.
have you been eating? Because she's been eating suya. What have you been eating?
My doctor said I have to try eat more egg, I have to be more patriotic. So, I'm trying to do that a little more.
Okay.
I had just one before I came here.
Do you prefer the boiled or the fried eggs? Oh, you see? Or scrambled, right?
That's such a dilemma,
Or raw eggs,
Egg and pepper.
You know what? I'll go for the egg and pepper one.
Yeah.
That's the highest
You
one.
understand.
I have to
Highest
say
one
that
right
is
there.
the most addictive thing
Yeah.
in the world. Just take one. Just take two.
Yo, it's crazy.
No, you can't just have one. I don't know if you all know if he has mathematics with this. It's like
Please
if
tell
you
us.
want, if you're
Explain
eating
that to me.
4, you're actually eating 2.
Oh,
The one is like you haven't even tasted that one. So the second one is your actual
they mean
one.
I've been eating 6 because there are 12 there.
Word.
Yeah, you should see how the gym bros at my gym eat eggs. They eat like 8 at a go. It's insane.
Oh man, I need to get on eggs.
A Ghanaian gym, bro.
Yo, serious.
He was swallowing the eggs, bro.
Well, it's very interesting. I have artists here and we're talking about food. Very soon we'll have them on Chef It Up, to give us the deets on how they get their food and everything else. But again, I'm very happy to have you guys here.
Thank you.
I know you're super busy. You have an event coming up, which we're going to get into. But since I have you here, I just can't let you go. I want to get context into you guys, your music, the growth. And that's one thing I love about these conversations, right? Talking to you 2 weeks from now is different from this moment.
Fair.
Because things happen in between, the growth and everything you've been up to. So, Ria, how have you been, the music aside? Let's find out who Ria is.
Well, how have I been? I've been really great. I feel like you guys have caught up with me for a while here. We've been doing Ria Boss Open Mic. This is our 3rd year of Ria Boss Open Mic. And last year we had the pleasure of being the recipients of the Creation Africa Ghana grants for Ria Boss Open Mic. And so that's something we do every month.
Can you please give us some context into what that is and how you even get that?
Yeah, so it's a live performance and open mic platform, which is an event every single month. We started in March of 2023. Each month we have 3 headliners, and then we also have a traditional open mic. Now, as you know, like open mic means that you come, you have a stage, you have a mic, and you come and do your thing. And we've had across multiple different disciplines. So not just singers, rappers, but we've had DJs come and bring dancers. We've had a tap dancer. We were supposed to have a magician. I'm fighting with him, wherever he is. We're supposed to have a magician, but the idea is to create creative community for people who just need a stage, an opportunity to perform.
An outlet, right?
Yeah.
So you're an artist, first of all.
Yeah.
How is it being part of, organizing events, being behind the scenes? Is it I don't want to say easier, but have you got an understanding more about the job? Because, an artist is going to understand an artist, right?
Yeah. I think being behind the scenes has shown me also how difficult it is to put together live performances and shows here. So when you see somebody putting together an event, support them. If they send you their fundraising packets, read it, send something. Because honestly, being behind the scenes and being an artist behind the scenes, I now appreciate event producers a lot more, but also can see where we can all stand to be a bit more fair in the way we do things. So yeah, there's that.
Are we close to getting to that international standard of events organizing?
Close
is very subjective.
I'm gonna say that we have a lot of amazing vendors here who have the equipment to be able to do amazing things, but we don't necessarily have the venues that are reinforced. Like we don't have like an O2. or like a Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
A lot of these places that are already outfitted to have live performance. I mean, we have Alliance Concert, shout out to them.
Yeah.
But I think that we really need to start developing more venues that were made specifically for music and performance. I think that would really help cut costs down a lot, because when you're putting events together, you're having to outsource all these things, and those bring your costs really high. And I wouldn't know that unless I was behind the scenes. Yeah.
Event organizing is no joke.
It's
I applaud
crazy.
anyone and everyone who decides to go into that.
Yeah.
So we'll get more to that in the music. Young Dems,
What's good?
how you doing, man?
I'm blessed.
What have you been up to? Music aside.
Music
Are
aside.
you the outing type? Are you the behind the scenes indoor introvert type?
You know, it depends. I feel like I have seasons. You know, I'm like mostly an indoor person, but then every once in a while, you know, as a creative person, you want to go out, experience things. So then after that, you know, I have my
Is that
phases.
dynamic difficult though at times? Because you know we tend to have to go out when we don't want to. Like my social battery runs out very quickly.
Yeah.
But the job is the job.
Yeah. Like
How do you balance that, man?
like especially in December, which is the time where we're the most busy, because you know
Yes.
it's a festive period, so
Yes.
you have more shows
Yes.
and more engagements. That can get tiring sometimes, because there's things you want to go for, and then after a while it becomes like things you just have to go for
Have
because
to.
you have to be there,
Yeah.
you have to, you know,
There's
show
fans.
out,
Yeah.
fans, you know, and sometimes it can take a toll on your well-being, because you know, as an introvert, naturally after a while you just, like you said,
Yes.
your social battery goes down. You want to go back inside, but
Right.
it's part of the job. It's something that you have to learn how to overcome, because I want to take this to the highest heights, and that means that there will be nights where I'll be doing like 2 shows.
Wow.
Or a week I'll do like a show every single day.
Yeah.
So I just have to suck it up, you know, like yeah.
Before you do get to those high heights, God willing, of course, how did you get into music? Did you stumble upon it, or was that always the dream?
You know, I used to say I stumbled upon it, but I think looking back and realizing what it was back then, it was more so I was introduced and ushered into music from a young age, from listening down to like playing instruments. By the time I was, you know, in high school, I was pretty much a producer. I didn't know it. You know, I just needed the software, and then I just started. So that's pretty much where it came from.
Yeah. Were there any particular inspirations?
I think Kanye was an early one, because he was the only like
Yeah.
person I knew who was producing the music.
He's
he was
always been
rapping
ahead of
with.
his time, right?
Yeah. Pharrell, I liked 4x4, R2Bs.
Yeah.
One of my first early Afrobeats like artists that I used to listen to.
Nice.
So, you know, people like that. I mean, I have so many. I
Yeah.
can never usually just say one, because it always changes when you get older.
Right,
You learn new
yeah.
stuff, you know. So yeah.
Production versus mainstream artistry. Again, have you found a balance in terms of what you love to do, or is it that you just like go with the flow? Because it's very interesting to me as I was learning about music, right? Mastering is a whole art on its own.
Yep.
Recording, we have artists who just love to perform. We have artists who don't write, right? We have artists who don't perform and they write.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to see, and we have artists who are blessed to do every single thing. For you, where do you fall right now in terms of your growth as an artist?
You know, I do feel a bit blessed though, because I'm able to do all the aspects of music making. So I can pick and choose at any given moment what feels right. Like, you know, if I feel like I need to touch something up on a song that I hear one of my friends work on, I'll touch it up, you know. But at the same time, I know that because I'm an artist, I can't necessarily do everything at every given moment.
Yeah.
So I focus on what works for me. I know I have projects to put down, I have singles to put out, but I also love producing for people. I love working with an artist one-on-one, and then we make like 3 songs that have like a vibe. You know, we're working on a sound. I don't really like mixing. I think it's more like a reflex. Like when I'm invested in a song, I will maybe mix it. But it is like it's a crazy task.
It is.
I feel like
mixing and mastering. I think there should be like more courses and more appreciation.
Not anymore.
Right?
Yeah, no, like when
not
there's
my
a
own
timeline attached to it, then it's
Yeah.
like,
Right?
you know.
Again, as I was saying,
Yeah.
I think there should be more of an appreciation. It's crazy to me that now writers are getting more of, again, an appreciation and acknowledgement. But
Yeah.
writing music, bro, how did you get into music though? Did you stumble upon it? Was it always the thing?
Yeah, I feel like a stumbling upon, or it was just always
In
a part of
between,
me.
okay.
Yeah, like my mom, my mother, my grandmother, extremely creative people. Like my grandmother was in her church choir for like 35 years.
Okay.
And I'd follow her to her like choir practices. My mother is like, even though she might not admit it, she's super creative, and she's the reason I listen to half the music I listen to.
Oh.
And so because of that, I think I was already had that kind of like that support to follow that dream. Also because my mom was in a band when she was young and her dad said no. So when I decided I was going to do music, I think she didn't want to be like her father.
Oh, you know, that's what I was about to ask you, right?
She didn't want to hate on me.
I mean, this setting here, we hear these things all the time. You know, don't do this, you know.
Yeah.
And I've realized from their perspective, it's always from a place of love.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right? Because they've seen people fail at this job.
Definitely.
This job is very easy to
Yeah.
fail at. Growing up to where you are now, did you understand why those things might have happened?
It's wild because it's only now that I can be like, I get it. I totally understand. Like when they say, oh, maybe you should have a backup just in case. Like I totally understand those perspectives now. I just also feel like I'm lucky enough to also be within a space where I've had the support. And so I didn't necessarily have to choose.
Okay.
You know, there were points when like I had like different backup stuff, and obviously now I'm doing events, and so that's also a different stream.
Yes,
I also songwrite, which is a completely different stream, and I also produce, which is a different stream as
Yeah.
well. But I think having that support gave me the sort of freedom to explore those things and not feel necessarily like I had to go and become a lawyer like my mom and then do the music. Because listen, I have friends that are full medical doctors and they're singers.
Wow.
So you can do both.
Yeah.
It's just I have a duty,
Yeah.
so I cannot do everything.
Do you think we've understood the business side of things as creatives and as artists enough? And I'm coming off what she said, you know, something to fall back on, you know. Not every artist makes music forever. Neo was a producer, transitioned to music. We've seen artists who are very now heavily business oriented. I mean, I think now the world is understanding that it's fine.
Yeah.
Plans change, but because you're in a spectrum where you're famous, people expect you to do this for the rest of your life. So from a business point of view, do you think we've taken that seriously as creatives?
I think, you know, maybe in general as creators worldwide, maybe there's more insights on how to leverage your career. I think maybe like locally here, we're still catching up to that information.
Yeah.
You know, knowing that like it's more than just your streams, or it's more than just what you make from your music. You have to build a life, you know, around what you do.
Yeah.
And invest in other things. I hear it be a frequent conversation amongst the young artists, you know, when I talk to the other people.
That's a good thing.
Everybody's talking about how, you know, in the future they're thinking of doing this, or they're thinking of doing that. And it's really good we encourage like each other to keep, you know, that entrepreneurial spirit, because music it's a very futile like craft. You don't know where it's gonna go in the next 5 years.
Entertainment, right?
You know, entertainment in general.
Right.
So, you know, however you can stack up your bread or just get your life right. You know, at the same time, music is always about like being in front of the cameras and showbiz. So you want other things that feel more like wholesome, you know, to build a life upon. You feel me?
One advice I'll give is, I know we want to do this, we love this, we want to make it, but please, if you have to, live below your means. When and if you have to, there's absolutely nothing wrong, you know, we're just cutting that coat according to that size. I know people are just, no, I have to get this. I get it, but I think we need to have more comfortable conversations like that. You know, there's nothing wrong, you know, if you have to take, you know, a week off, you know, not necessarily buy that thing. You know, so again, I'm very happy that you guys have an understanding, you know, of this. Like you're talking about business, you're talking about getting to events and all this. But the thing is, with everything you're doing, you're constantly releasing music. Do you have time for yourself? Because I heard you wake up like this.
Do you sleep?
Right? Yeah, I heard you wake up like this.
Oh, I do.
I didn't expect that.
No, like I find those pockets to rest. Obviously, like because I've been doing a lot of the event stuff, I didn't release anything last year, right? And I think most of the things that came out for me last year were my features. Like I had a bunch of features that dropped. And so I've taken a little bit of time where I was like, okay, I'm doing the events for right now. But right now I'm really back in my, like I'm recording music like almost every other day now because I'm trying to put together my next.
How do you do with
portfolio.
fans who are not happy about this?
They'll complain, but when they get their work, they'll be very happy. So I let them complain. I give them some gigs here and there.
In 2018, you did something wild. I love to. I think we spoke about it the last time, but I have to speak about it again because it's in context, I try to understand it, but I still don't. It's been years. But yeah, I don't know how you did it. Was it every month or every week?
Every week. I dropped an EP every week for 11 weeks.
You dropped an EP every week.
44
Young Dev's like, bro. First of all, were these songs recorded, and put out after having them on the shelf for a while, or were you just were like, let's just
so I would say like 60% of them were made during the week they were released, and the other 40% were stuff I already had in my vault.
No.
Yeah, so the majority of them were brand new songs during the week that I was releasing.
What
And shout out to
compelled you?
Dave Nanapuka's Flower Poppy,
Yeah.
who was like my executive producer for the whole thing. So
What compelled you to do this?
wow, actually shout out to my stepbrother. We had like lunch one day and he was like, he used to tell me that I like to hoard music, which is true. Like I sit on a lot of my own music and sometimes I won't release it because the time has passed or whatever. He was like, you've got like a vault of like over 100 and something songs. You could do something every Friday, like Good Fridays, like what Kanye West did. You could literally drop a project every week and you'd still have more music. And so I was like, oh, and I was born on a Friday, so thank God it's Rhea, thank God it's Friday. So that's where I was, thank God it's Rhea. And I decided, okay, let's get rid of the music because it's sitting there anyway. Like what
That's an interesting way to put it. Let's
it's
get rid of the
sitting-
music,
it's
right?
sitting- and for me, it was also like a relief. Like, let me get it off so I'm not like over analyzing and overthinking about this process, because sometimes you sit on the music and you keep thinking, what am I doing with it?
Right.
When sometimes like just put it out. Like it's meant to be out in the time that you make it, just put it out. And then it kind of allowed me the freedom to start creating new. So like I felt so light after we were done because I was like, I can start doing some new stuff and not feel guilty that I've got all this other stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Dems, when you hear this, right? Yeah. How does that make you feel as a creative? Because it's true, a lot of creatives are like perfectionists. Like, how's it going to be received? I have to change this. I think, I was listening to an artist. Is it Lil Wayne or somebody who was like, he's never happy with the verse he puts out. And as a fan, you're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So when you hear this, right, the work ethic, the putting out the projects as frequently as she did, looking at the artists you work with, again, going back to us being perfectionists, bro, that's wild.
Yeah, no, she's not wrong. I mean, like, one of the reasons why I do even hold back on putting out music is because, like I said, because I do every other thing, I want to make sure that all the mixing is good, the writing is good, everything sounds good, you know what I mean? And I learned that lesson the hard way.
Tell us about that. How did you learn that lesson?
Very hard way. Last year, I lost all my music that I've been working on
Can you
for the past
what do you mean by
5 years. All.
5 years?
Everything. The beats. See, manager in the back laughing.
Like she's like, don't remind us. Please don't remind. What happened?
You know what I mean? No, what happened was like the drive that all my music was on went missing. You know how it went missing. I don't really want to get into it, but yeah.
I hope you haven't heard any of the music out there.
Oh no, it's not possible. I mean, if I hear it, I'll know it's you. So yeah. But like the reason why I saw that as a lesson was because prior to that, I was holding back a lot of music. I was taking my time to curate things and, try and find a direction. But I was stuck in a lot of the music I wasn't releasing. You keep listening to it, you keep trying to go over it. And then you're holding back. So God, being God, took my music away.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and
deep.
Made me start afresh.
That's fine.
So for, a lot of people would have crashed out. But me,
I want to crash out for you.
No.
I'm like,
it's over.
Everybody wants to crash out, but I was very calm the way I took it. I just saw it as, okay, now it's time to actually just put out music as and when I make it. Trust my creativity. I even dropped, I leaked some of my unreleased songs.
Yeah.
Raw, unfinished. I just put them out, just so people can
How
listen
do
to
you
them.
guys get over not being, how do I put this? Influenced, manipulated? Because as creatives, right, we have so many people in our ear. It could be an exec, it could be the fans, it could be friends, it could be family, it could be colleagues, right? Now you want to put this out. Nah, don't do this. No, do this. Sometimes it's yourself, right? And when, if you don't please me, you're not doing the right thing. You're either here or you're there, even if it comes to your beliefs, right? How do you deal with, Rhea, you first, please. I love this. I'm going to put it out. Let it be received. How it's going to be received. Even though, again, we're in a numbers world. How many views did I get? Who downloaded it? Who's dancing to the music? Who's watching what I'm doing? How do you do it?
I think it really all goes down to what your own personal why is and why you're doing the thing, because I think that also helps you determine how you're going to put things out, or when or why, if it's on your terms. Also, depending on if you're working with a big label, management, whatever, those things all come into play with when you want to release something. I've had the pleasure of being like pretty much self-managed and like having a team of like my close peers around me for quite some time. And so when it does come to anything I want to do, I'm really like the authority on when I want to do it. But now that I'm also working with different people, it's like you have to take into consideration timelines, all this different stuff, especially if you're trying to maximize your release. Before, maybe if I was just trying to be casual with it, not take over the world, you know. But now, if you're trying to be on the charts, if you're trying to be, you know, a Thames or something like that, there are certain things that you have to do with regards to your own timelines, with your own rollouts, and so you have to be a little bit more intentional. And so when it comes to that, for example, with the work that I'm doing now, whereas maybe if I'd been doing it last year, I'd have been like, let me release something and tease the fans. No, now, dear, I'm taking my time. When I'm done with the whole process, no, we're gonna
put it out.
Yeah, I'll take my time. We'll do some focus groups. We're gonna see what's really
Was it
hitting for.
difficult getting to this point in your career, in your life?
I think honestly, I've just been super stubborn for a very long time. You know, you think you are right, so you have the authority. But I think, especially working with like organizations like Black Girls Glow, doing different songwriting camps, working with more songwriters in those types of situations, workshops, all these things have helped me find like it's super helpful to have a community around you that can also help in guiding what it is you're trying to do. And so now I'm not so stubborn. Because I also believe in the things that I'm doing and I want them to do well. And so I'll much rather put a lot more thought into it and take my time. And I will take feedback very easily now, as opposed to, let's say, a few years ago. So that also helps the process.
How do you deal with that? It could be in the form of even comparison, right? Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Jesus.
But like I always say that you're good in Ghana if they keep comparing you to people. You know
That's
you're
a
good.
punchline.
So I don't really take it as an insult, because when people don't really at first understand something, the first thing they do is compare to something they think is similar.
Oh,
Right.
man.
You know what I'm saying? So that's
I didn't even
fine.
think about it.
Yeah, so it's all good. That one is calm. The feedback though, I do get feedback from fans. I get feedback from my friends. You know, I think the important thing is first to have discernment creatively, spiritually. As a person, you can just feel when people are being genuine about their feedback, or if you think their feedback is coming from a right place. Like you trust a person. You know, if it's a friend, you trust them. With fans, fans always see you in a light, in an image, and they want that to be presented a certain way or sound a certain way. But at the end of the day, it's your sound. And for me, I do what my ear guides me to do. If I like it and I feel like it makes sense, I'll put it out. I do listen to what people say in terms of I see what makes them feel a certain kind of way, and I just take note of it. I know how I can use that to make more songs that will just appeal to more
I think
people.
I was reading a study one time, and it says whenever you see a post on social media, you go to the comments. First of all, I didn't get that, but I was tending to do it at a while. And you're influenced, whether you like that post or not, by the first 4 comments. So it could be a car, right? You love this car. You check the first 4 comments are negative. Then you're like, and this is an actual thing. And it's also vice versa, right? So I want to ask you guys, how do you not get again, influenced by social media, mental health, staying on point? It all comes back to, what we're talking about, comparison and all these things. But are you affected by this at some point?
I think we're all human, right? And so, like, there's certain things that can affect you. But again, like, I'll always say this thing: if you know why you're doing a thing, the noise can sometimes get loud. You have to find ways to block it out. Whether it's you have particular practice, like you meditate, or you say to yourself, I'm not going to be on social media while I'm working on this project, so I'm not influenced by something. Like, you have to take personal decisions that will also help keep your mental as safe and as, and as together as you need it to be. Me, for example, right now, I've decided I'm working on like music right now, and I have specific people that I'm listening to because they're part of like the mood board of sonically. That's all I'm listening to. I'm not being influenced by it. Like I'm not. Like I'm not focusing on.
I mean, media is a wild thing.
Yeah.
Social media, the things we put out there. How even sometimes I see stories, right? And then I go and read the story. I think I saw a story of Justin Bieber. He was in the parking lot and it was like, don't take pictures of me. I'm not in a good state. And how the headline was put out. Justin Bieber's being aggressive, attacks reporters. It's a crazy, crazy world, and this job, you're not going to understand it unless you're in it. And when you're in, it's like, what did I get myself into?
Yeah.
So it's very interesting and important for people watching this who look up to you, say they found a way to balance what they're doing. Because people watching this are depressed.
Yeah,
and that's just the fact.
We live on planet Earth.
Right? It's just the facts, bro.
You have to try and just find the light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, scrolling online these days can feel like very, very depressing, very daunting. But you know, and the algorithm presents you all kinds of stuff to look at.
Right.
But I think you just have to try and find the light.
Yeah.
You have to cautiously look for it. I think we've slinged back into this age where, you know, it's okay to feel toxic. It's okay to feel depressed. No, it's also okay to look for the light, the positive stuff, the good stuff. You know, you say stuff about comments online, and you know, fans make comments, good and bad. I just try and see a light in everything. So even the bad ones are kind of funny. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
That's a good mindset.
You know what I'm saying? So like I don't know. At the end of the day, it's a device.
With them.
It's a device. Real life is out there, and
Nice.
connecting to reality always helps you feel better about what's going on.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you guys, you know, for adding your voice to topics like this. I think they're very, very important. You know, we all have ways we deal with these things, but when you share your ways, it gives context again for how people, maybe your way might help them out.
Yeah.
Right. Very, very good. You have an event coming up.
Yes, we do.
But first of all, how was 2024 for you? How would you describe your 2024?
How would I describe my 2024? Chaotic.
Whoa.
In a good way. Yeah, chaotic
I was
in a
like,
good way.
that's the nicest chaotic I've ever had in my life.
Yeah,
like,
chaotic in a good way. A lot of amazing things. I mean, I spoke about it in the beginning, but Rebels Open Mic really, we've done a lot in the last year. Also last year in March, I hosted Lady Donnelly and the Lagos Panic for my first Rebels Presents event. So yeah, last year was busy. Yeah, busy, chaotic, but in a good way. Yeah.
It's part of the job, right? Yo, how was it for you, man? Was it chaotic?
Last year, no, it was chaotic.
I like that
but
word.
it was the biggest teaching year of my life, 2024. I mean, it was like obviously I told you I lost all my music. So like, and that happened towards the end of the year. So that was interesting. But before that, I was traveling a lot. I spent a couple of months in the US going through different states. I just felt like I needed a change of environment.
Wait, states as in mentally or states as in?
Oh, like actual states, not mentally. I was good.
Okay.
But I meant like I was going to like the different, you know, a couple of different stages just to get a feel of what's out there in the world. And I wanted to come back to Ghana quickly to work on music. That's what happened. I got back into my producer bag.
Nice.
You know, I feel like this year, because of last year, is gonna be much different energy, much bolder. You know, I just feel more confident because of everything that happened last year.
Nice one. And you guys, as I was saying, have an event coming up.
Yeah.
And the reason why I asked you about how your 2024 was because sometimes we tend to forget how a time gone by, 2 months or 6 months can influence what we're doing now. So you can be in a bad state, right? But you have to do this event.
Yeah.
So with this event, what state of mind, you see,
look at that.
are you in right now? Like with the energy you're putting into this event, and please lead us to what's going to happen.
No, I'm super excited. I mean, it's one night only with Wurld. And I also had the pleasure of sharing a stage with Wurld at Manifestivities in December. So for me, it was like, when I was asked to do this show, I was like, it's 2 times with Wurld. I like this idea. No, I'm excited. It's happening on Friday, March 7th, at Barn Door Beer Garden, where I happen to be 2 out of 6 opening acts.
Whoa.
So it's pretty good. Like Abla Unique, Herman Suede,
Herman, that's my guy.
Malika.
Wow.
I've missed someone. I've missed somebody. I've said everybody.
I think she said it. Manager, she said everybody.
I said Cozy Poles.
Yeah, she said
Young Dams, Ria Boss.
Manager's like, we've said everybody. I like the artwork.
Yeah.
Young Dams, tell us about how you got on this part of this
Shout
event
out
and why it was important for you to be part of an event like this.
No, I mean, I was told about the event. I was approached, you know, via my team, and I instantly said yes. Mostly because I like to be part of people I'm a fan of as well. You know, I love World's music.
That's nice.
And you know, I was told everyone else who was gonna be on there. You know, I know them in the industry. I know Rhea, I know Herman Suede. So I was like, oh yeah, for sure, absolutely. I think it's important that we have the right representation of, you know, the different diverse groups of artists in the country. So, you know, I'm just
happy now artists get to perform, right? I think back in the day, for example, when an artist got on a record label, they'd have to be groomed for years, and the goal was to be on a record label. But in as much as, you know, social media has its negativities and all these things, we have avenues to create. I can get up and say, I'm having an event tomorrow. Right, and artists are creating these events, you know, are being part of these events. So I'm assuming this is an exciting time for you. What should we expect, man?
Oh wow, well, I mean, not to give you a little excuse, but his set is going to be amazing. Number one,
so you've seen it.
I mean, I've seen him live already, so I'm already like, I'm excited as a fan.
Nice.
But I think also all the, like he mentioned, like it's a diverse range of opening acts, people like representing different genres as well, alternative music, and so I think like it's an exciting time to come and also see what Ghanaian the music industry has to offer, especially by way of like different types of music.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's
super
cool,
exciting.
bro. For those who've never seen you perform, never seen you on stage, or what should be their expectations, or should we come in with no expectations and just have fun?
Nah, no expectations. Even sometimes I surprise myself.
That's
So
nice.
just come through. Just know we'll definitely have fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
So time, date, location, everything.
March
please.
7th, which is Friday. I start at 8 p.m. Please come on time because like this organizer, she does not play. She means.
Can we give her a shout out?
Shout out to Pam Techua.
She don't play, right?
Sur le pan, LSLP.
Okay.
Yeah, no, she don't play about her time. So even if we are opening like Salit, we will not perform. I'm serious. She's very serious.
That's wild.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, she's young.
Young girls like,
You don't play.
like holy smokes.
But yeah, tickets are 250 CDs.
Okay.
You can still get them online right now on Hustle Sasa. Shout out to them.
It's Hustle Sasa, right?
Hustle Sasa.
Okay.
Yes. Just type Wurld in Accra, Hustle Sasa. That's the first
It's
thing
gonna
that'll
pop
pop up.
Cool.
Yeah, come ready for a good time. Obviously, like we'll be there. I'll be meowing. It'll be great.
Yeah. What animals do you like? Cause she loves cats.
Hello.
I just had to find out.
I do also love cats. You know, I got a big panther over here.
Very correct human being.
Black
Okay.
panther.
I mean, I'm a dog person.
I am a dog person.
I'm like a
too.
super.
I got two
But
dogs.
wait, do
I'm
cat
not against
people?
dogs.
Do cat people and dog people not get along? Or is that just a myth?
We cool.
We're supposed to be cool. That's how we're
Okay.
supposed
I just
to.
will not own the dog.
Oh, it's like
No,
come on now, like
this
we
is
are.
the thing, right? With cats, they go in the litter box. With a dog, it's everywhere. That's my one qualm.
Okay,
For
but I'm not
somebody
gonna
I
that
can't even argue about that. Because cats be very, very civil.
they clean,
Very
man.
civil.
I
can't
mean,
lie.
I'm a tiger person, right?
Oh, there
because
you go.
tigers are like
Tiger's my spirit animal.
There you go.
like they're loners.
Yeah.
They swim, they climb trees. You know,
They're
tigers
adorable.
are like, they will take you down. I think they're heavier than lions.
Yes.
You know, they're stealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just had to get that in there. To find out. Do you guys have any shouts before we go?
No, shout out to SLP for putting this event together. Yeah, I'm just excited.
Nice. Any shouts, my brother?
Man, just shout outs to everyone else on the bill. I'm excited to see you
Yeah.
guys perform as well. And I'm glad to be sharing the stage with Wurld.
Nice.
Thank you, bro.
I mean, I spoke about this at the beginning of the interview. Support, right? In as much as we're supporting them, they're also supporting artists. So it's one big machine. You know, all these cogs, you know, come together to make it what it is. So to the organizers, to you guys, the artists, I know it's not easy. You know, we say and say it's not easy, but when you're there, when you see the toil, you know, and even for the organizers again, man, I've seen stuff, bro. I've seen stuff where people have gotten sick after these events, emotionally, mentally, physically, financially. So I want to say very big up to you guys. We can't wait to be there. We're going to be there to support you. Maria, I've seen you perform a couple of times. I know it's going to be crazy. Young Dems, I know you're going to do your thing. And this has been Thread Special, where we have the most amazing, talented people on the show having these types of conversations. But we have to speak again because this has been wild. This
yeah,
has
I would
been
love
really
it.
cool. I've loved this.
You need a co-host?
Yeah, why not? That'd be dope. That'd be dope. So we're going to see you there one last time. Location, time.
Barn Door Beer Garden in Osu, which is right across from Jamestown Coffee. It's March 7th, which is Friday, and it's at 8 p.m. Please be on time. And buy your tickets early. Don't come to the gates. Maybe they'll be finished.
Yes, we've been warned. Guys, have a very good one. It's been Thread Special.